Hello, everybody. My name is Sina. I'm an EFT practitioner as well as a yoga teacher, and I would like to give you a short introduction to EFT and talk you through a guided practice. So in this video, you'll learn what is EFT, how does EFT work, you learn some of the benefits of EFT, then I'll guide you through a sequence on anxiety, and afterwards you'll get some more practical tips for how to use it by yourself. So what is EFT? EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and it's commonly also known as tapping, acupuncture without needles, or emotional acupuncture. And EFT is a mind-body approach for emotional healing as well as personal and spiritual development. It can help people process, manage, and heal from emotional pain and navigate through challenging experiences of life more easily. Challenges like stress, life changes, uncomfortable emotions, anxiety, sleep issues. All these things that are part of our human experiences and that make it challenging for us sometimes. EFT is rooted in ancient philosophies of energy healing, and it's based on acupuncture. But instead of using the needles, we use our fingertips to tap on certain acupressure points on the upper body. This approach is based on the understanding that there is an energy system that runs throughout our body, and any kind of disruption in this energy can contribute or lead to unhealthy emotions, behaviors, and physical conditions. By tapping and releasing these blocked energy pathways, people can experience huge relief from a wide range of issues, such as, for example, depression and physical pain. This tapping on acupressure points, while focusing on what's causing us distress, what's troubling us, this relaxes our body, it releases stuck emotions and balances our energy system. And doing this approach, it's a very gentle and non-invasive technique. It has no side effects and it can really be used by anybody. This is one of the amazing things about it. It's really accessible to people of all ages and all backgrounds. Nobody is excluded to using EFT. And for example, nowadays there are organizations that bring tapping into regions of crisis to help people process their trauma. Kids can use it. I was talking to a friend who has kids the other day, and she told me that she became aware of a few cases where EFT has been used in her surroundings in schools with kids. And this is really amazing. Because it's such an easy and helpful tool. And as I said, it's beneficial for anybody. So how does EFT work? I mentioned it before, EFT works by tapping with the fingers on specific meridian points on the upper body. While we tap, we focus on a specific issue or emotion that we would like to transform or release. By tapping on these points, energy blockages can be released. It stimulates the body's energy pathways and sends signals to the brain. It regulates the nervous system. And all this promotes feelings of relaxation and well-being. And this focusing on a specific issue, this is mostly done by repeating a simple phrase or word out loud that acknowledges the issue and the corresponding emotions. It looks a little bit like self-talk, just with the tapping on top, but you will see later when we do it how it looks like. Another way to focus on the issue is by simply staying present with what you're experiencing. For example, the physical sensation or pain. But I'll go a bit deeper into that later. So when you do tapping the first time, it can feel a bit awkward to say out loud what's distressing you, because we are not used to do that. And it can feel a bit strange in the beginning, as if we're making it worse. So for example, I give you an example. I want to release anger. So I would tap, and then I would phrase my anger. I would say, I'm so angry, I'm experiencing anger, I feel this anger in my body. And this is not to get us deeper into the anger in this example, but to the contrary, now we want to release this emotion, in this case, anger. And by phrasing it out loud and tapping, we're creating the space, or we are creating a space where we allow all our emotions, feelings, and experiences to be there in a very gentle and non-judgmental way. So what we're doing is we're bringing it to light. We're taking it out of the hiding, and the tapping enables us to process and release these emotions and experiences instead of pushing them away or hiding them like we are used to do it in our normal daily life. We're doing it quite often, and by that we're creating a lot of resistance and blockages in our body. So you can imagine it's a little bit like decluttering. Imagine you have a room in your apartment or in your house, and in this room you put all the things that you don't really like anymore. You don't want to see these things anymore, but then there's a part of you that doesn't want to let them go, that is still attached. So then what you do, you put these things in the room, then you close the door, and you feel like, oh, now it's solved because it's out of sight, right? But somehow it's still in the background of your mind. And of course, all these things in the room, they take up space. Space that you could use for other beautiful things that you like and that are more beneficial to you, So what you do to clean up that room is you open the door. Then you take out piece by piece, you look at it, and then you decide, do I want to keep it or not? And after having done that, with every piece in the room, you have a room with lots of space, and there are just beautiful things inside that you love. And what we're doing with EFT is a little bit similar. We're decluttering our whole system from all the things that are not so beneficial to us, that are bothering us, and that are causing us distress. So we're creating a space, a framework, where we can look at our emotional baggage, and we're phrasing it, we label it, and then with the tapping gives us the modality to release it, to really heal it and let it go on a deep level. You could also imagine what we're doing with EFT. It's a little bit like lifting a heavy blanket. A blanket of all our anxieties, behaviors, conditioning. And by lifting that blanket, our more natural qualities like joy, compassion, and love can emerge quite naturally. So now coming to the benefits of EFT. What does it help with? The goal of EFT is to work with the body's energy system and help restore balance. It helps us to process and understand our emotions, as well as cultivating awareness and acceptance. When we apply EFT, we are creating an inner environment of openness and acceptance towards the whole range of our emotions, not only the pleasant ones. And we're expanding our capacity to be with all of that and process at the same time. We're releasing on a very deep level. This is a level, our energy level, where we cannot go with rational thinking and analyzing. So it's a very profound way of healing. And as such, EFT has been shown to be very effective at treating a wide range of issues, from physical to emotional. So this includes, for example, issues such as stress. We all know stress, and then anxiety, fears, overwhelm, insomnia, then also chronic pain and symptoms, chronic fatigue syndrome, for example, and also back pain can be a starting point to apply EFT and heal what's behind the back pain. Then it has also been used effectively to treat trauma and PTSD, phobias, addictions, cravings. So it can really enable individuals to free themselves from long-term issues which had previously felt unresolvable. And what EFT does, it creates safety within our body. So when we apply EFT, we begin to feel more connected to our bodies and we feel safe. We feel safe in our body. And this feeling of safety, this changes how we show up in the world. Yeah, because when we feel safe, we feel more peaceful, our well-being increases, and this helps individuals to change or to navigate through challenging times with more ease and resilience. So it really helps us to get out of this state of urgency that we're in so often. Yeah, and by doing that, when we get out of this state of urgency and stress, what we can do is we find new and creative solutions to our issues. And this is really fundamental when it comes to propelling change, not only for ourselves, but for the world at large. Because when we feel like we are in a state of urgency, stress, in this fight and flight mode constantly, what we need to do then is we need to create a sense of safety within ourselves so that we are actually able to come to new ways of approaching a situation or an issue. Because otherwise we just keep repeating the same patterns that already brought us into the situation or the issue. So yeah, there was this feeling of safety. This is really an important point in healing and in propelling change. So I also would like to give you a short overview of the 3 types of settings EFT can be applied in. First of all, EFT is a very easy to apply self-care tool. It can help you process emotions with greater ease and confidence, and it really helps you on the go whenever you need it. Yeah, it's just like your breath. It's always available to you and it's so easy to apply and it has 0 side effects. So as I mentioned before, EFT is non-invasive, it's pain-free, and it can be used by anybody. Nobody is excluded from using EFT. Then another option to apply EFT is in a one-to-one setting. And in this setting, EFT is a form of therapy which can help people to resolve more complex issues like trauma, deep-seated patterns of behavior. Yeah, because for some issues, personalized support can be very beneficial. Maybe you feel more safe. Maybe you need someone to guide you through your healing process and hold space for you. And then, of course, a neutral outside perspective can be very helpful, and the practitioner has additional tools and modalities at hand, not just the tapping itself. Then a third option, a third setting is a group setting. In a group setting, EFT can provide a supportive and empowering environment for individuals to work through shared experiences. Yeah, I was talking about this human experience before. So in this setting, this is really, we're working through our common human experiences and it helps us to gain a sense of community and also cultivate compassion because we realize, okay, we're going through the same stuff together. So overall, in all of the settings, EFT is a very effective way to support emotional well-being and healing, and it helps individuals to find or to cultivate inner balance and peace. And which kind of setting is appropriate for you, it really depends on your unique situation and what you prefer. Maybe you use it mainly as a self-care tool. Maybe you want to use it in a group setting, or maybe you do a combination of different settings. So it really depends upon your situation and your needs. So now we come to the more practical part of the video. I would like to talk you through a tapping sequence, and afterwards I'll share some more tips for when you want to do it by yourself at home or on the go. So first of all, the points on the upper body we'll tap on are the following. we start inside of the eyebrow, then next to the eye, under the eye, under the nose, then on the chin, under the collarbone, under the armpit, and on the head. And then there's another point on the side of the hand, which is actually the one we're going to start with. And then you can use either both sides or just one side. This is a matter of taste. Yeah, you can see what feels better for you. So now you don't need to remember all the points because, as I said, I'm going to guide you through the sequence. And while I do that, I'm going to tap with you. And I'm also going to give you some phrases, some words that you can repeat while we're tapping. And as I said before, I would like to focus this sequence on anxiety. So the words and phrases that I'm giving to you center around that. And if there's anything that I'm saying that does not resonate with you at all, but you feel it creates resistance, then just leave it out. You don't have to repeat it. You just keep tapping and then just don't repeat what I'm saying. Okay, then to begin with, find yourself a comfortable seated position. And if you wish, you can close your eyes for a moment. And just bring your awareness to your body, to the whole field of your body. And just notice what's present for you right now. What kind of sensations can you observe? And just try to be with that, to note it without judging it and without wanting to change it. Just look. And maybe you'll notice your breathing. And just let your breathing be as it is right now. Just observe it. No need to change anything. And then from here, take a deep breath in through your nose. And while you exhale through your open mouth, you can open your eyes. And we'll start tapping on the side of the hand point. And you can repeat after me. Even though there is so much anxiety and tension, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I'm experiencing anxiety, I feel out of control. And it's showing up in my body. I choose to be gentle with myself and accept all of my feelings. Even though I'm overwhelmed, my mind is racing. I'm feeling anxious and it feels uncomfortable. I choose to love and accept myself as I am right here and right now. And then we move to the inside of the eyebrow. And as I said, you can do both sides or just one side. This feels uncomfortable. This anxiety showing up in my body. There's all this tension. I want it to go away. I don't like it. Just the word anxiety brings so much discomfort. I'd rather not experience it. But I am experiencing it. It's here. I can feel it in my body. This tension, this flutter in my chest. My body is expressing anxiety. It feels uncomfortable, but it's okay to feel what I'm feeling. Instead of trying to fix it or manage it, maybe it's okay to just sense it. Even if I don't like the sensation or understand where it's coming from, I drop into my body and keep breathing. Breathing through this anxiety, this tension, and all of these uncomfortable sensations. This tightness in my mind that feels so debilitating. It's restricting me in my decision making and how I show up. In my capacity to relax and be kind. This is not how I want to be. And this is not who I really am. Now I would like to ask you to pause for a moment. If you wish, you can close your eyes again. And again, drop into your body and become aware of what's present for you now. Has anything shifted? Is anything different? Or is it the same? What's present for you now? And then with that awareness, we go into another round of tapping, again by the side of the hand. Even though I experience some remaining anxiety, it's okay. I am okay. And I choose to hold myself in compassion. Even though I sense some remaining tension in my body, I know this is changing. And I choose to love and accept myself fully and completely. Even though maybe there is some remaining anxiety, I know it's coming and going. And I can always choose to love myself more. And again, inside of the eyebrow, it's okay to feel what I'm feeling. Even if part of this anxiety is still there, it's still bothering me, I can be with it. I just acknowledge it's there. And I don't have to fix anything right now. What if I just allow it to be there and let it flow through? While I tap and breathe and observe what's happening. I can soften, open my awareness, and be curious to what's there. And I just keep breathing. And now I would like to ask you to just keep tapping. I'm not going to give you any phrases anymore, but please just keep tapping and stay with what's present for you. This could be a sensation, maybe a thought, or maybe you just would like to focus on your breathing or on the tapping itself. Just sense what's most beneficial for you now and keep tapping for a few more rounds. And the next time you tap on your head, then pause here again and take a moment to bring one hand on your heart. And again, just note what's there now, what's present for you. Just take a little snapshot. And take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth and open your eyes. And if it feels good for you, maybe you want to stretch a little bit, stretch it out, your arms. Maybe you feel like rolling your shoulders a bit, or just shake it all out a little bit. Bring some more movement in the body again. Okay, that's it for this tapping round. So you could repeat the sequence and repeat the words and phrases that I gave you. You could also adapt it to your own needs or more to your needs and make it more specific. For example, by including where in your body do you feel the tension, where does the anxiety show up, if you are aware of it. Yeah, that would be a way to make it more specific to your situation. So now I would like to give you a few practical tips for how to do EFT by yourself. So you would start out by sensing into yourself and becoming aware of what's present for you now. Is there any issue you would like to tap on, any issue that you would like to release? For example, we had anxiety. And then what you can do, you could rate the intensity of your issue, of your emotion, on a scale between 0 and 10, where 0 is the lowest and 10 is the highest intensity. Then, for example, anxiety could be a level 5. Then you would start tapping, and after a few rounds of tapping, you would check in with the intensity and see if it has changed. This is optional. You don't have to do the rating. It's just sometimes nice to have a sort of reference point, and for our rational mind, it's sometimes more easy to have a number to compare with, to see if anything has changed or shifted. But really, this is optional. It's a matter of taste, and just try for yourself if it works for you. If not, then you just leave it aside. Another way to do EFT, if you don't know what your issue is, your topic, or if it just feels too heavy to phrase it, then you just start tapping. Yeah, you focus on sensations, on your breathing, or even just the tapping. Yeah, and you just do a few rounds, then you could check in and do a few more rounds. Yeah, you don't have to do all the phrasing then. And then what we can do is we create a setup phrase, what we did when we started the previous tapping round. Yeah, we started on the side of the hand and repeated the phrase 3 times. This is called a setup phrase. So when you create your own setup phrase, the first part of the phrase states the issue. For example, I experience this anxiety. Then the second part of the phrase, it focuses on what we would like to cultivate or feel instead. For example, I love myself fully and completely. But here, when you create your setup phrase, I really would like to ask you to be honest with yourself. If saying, for example, I love myself fully doesn't resonate with you but creates resistance, then please rephrase this part. You could make it a bit more gentle by saying, for example, may I love myself fully, or I choose to be open to loving myself, or I would like to love myself fully. Yeah, it's really important that this part of the phrase resonates with you. So please, if you sense some kind of resistance, then please adapt it to your unique situation. And yeah, this may of course change over time. So it's good to check in every time you do tapping, which phrase resonates with you in that very moment. And then once you have the setup phrase, you start tapping and you do the phrasing as we did before. So yeah, and then you do a few rounds of tapping and then you check in again and you just note, has anything changed? Are there any new sensations, any thoughts, emotions that have shifted? Maybe anxiety was in your chest before and now you feel it in your belly. So you just become aware of what's present for you and then you integrate that into the next rounds of tapping. Yeah, and then you just keep going for a certain amount of time. This is when you have an issue or a seated practice, let's say a seated practice. You start focusing on the issue, become aware of the issue, you create your setup phrase, you do a few rounds of tapping, you check in, you do a few more rounds until you would like to finish. But then we also have cases where we need it more where we need it more urgently, yeah? So then you don't need to do all the procedure like doing a setup phrase, checking in. You just start tapping then, yeah? Because in this case, when you have really intense emotions that you would like to process immediately, the main goal is to bring us into a state of more calm and regulation. So you just start tapping for a few minutes or until you notice a difference. So yeah, EFT is really beneficial to do it regularly. Now this doesn't have to be 30 or 60 minutes every day. Just be gentle with yourself and make it doable. So you could start out, for example, by with 5 to 10 minutes daily and do this for a few weeks and see how that feels for you. Yeah, do you notice a difference? And what kind of difference do you notice? And for example, you could just set your timer for 10 minutes. You sit down, you do a few rounds of tapping, and then when the timer is over, you stop. And then you will see over time shifts happening. And if daily practice doesn't feel so good for you, then you just do it on occasion. For example, if you wake up anxious or you're stressed before a meeting, any occasion that brings up intense emotional reaction, that's a good starting point to do EFT. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much for listening. And really, if there's any questions regarding EFT and the application, please feel free to contact me. I'm really happy to help you out and get you tapping. Other than that, I wish you happy tapping and thanks for listening.